I am here at Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin, and I'm here because a woman named Kelly asked me to come along. She's seen some of the videos. I have no idea why she wants to see me, so I'm just going to head inside and say hello to her. This is Kelly Birmingham. She's the community officer for St Patrick's Cathedral. She wants to talk to me about publicising an event in the cathedral, but first of all, she has to put up some posters, talk to the choir boys, organise a photo shoot, talk to the health and safety man, welcome local representatives to the cathedral, and finally, Kelly can talk about the upcoming event.
We're going to have guests coming here on the 20th of June, which is World Refugee Day, and it'll all be part of the World Refugee Food Festival.
It's a dinner being held for refugees living in so-called direct provision in Ireland.
All the seating behind the box pews here is going to be removed, and we'll have round table layout, and that'll be family space that people will choose where they want to sit.
The idea was that of the health and safety man, Ken Hartnett.
I was on holiday in Rome a couple of years ago with my wife and my family, and we noticed that in the Trastevere region in Rome that the local parishioners stage, if you like, a meal for the homeless of Trastevere, and they do it quite regularly. So when I joined the cathedral, we started doing dinners here for corporates, and I thought, well, what a wonderful opportunity it would be to actually welcome them into Ireland. Because as we know, to share food between people is the greatest way to welcome one another. You know, if you're having a dinner and you invite people into your house for a welcome, that's a lovely way to do it. So we're doing the same here. We're inviting these people into our house to have a meal and welcome them in.
And you're hoping it'll have a political effect?
No, that's not really the essence of it. It may do, but for myself personally, the trust of it is really a welcome for the people who are currently going through the whole direct provision process and asylum process.
We've done some work with the local Gardaí, the community Gardaí. They've been involved, and they're also going to be involved in the refugee dinner.
And you're allowed to stay open late.
Imagine.
Come here, I wanted to ask you one thing. I don't know if now is the time to ask you. Why is it so important to you, the whole refugee thing?
Well, I suppose anybody who's excluded from society, for me, I suppose I came from a household where people's value and dignity and respect was at the core of everything that was done in our home. And my father was in Dublin Fire Brigade and would have witnessed people who were excluded from the mainstream of society. So I suppose, imbued in me a really strong sense of just and right. And so when people flee their home, that care and that respect and that dignity that should be offered to everybody is at the core of everything I do. And I've had the privilege of coming in as community officer in the cathedral and have been able to extend that on behalf of the cathedral to the community.
What kind of work did your father do?
He would have worked with people who are elderly and isolated within their communities in the Dublin area in particular. That's the one and the only. Yeah.
Willie Birmingham was a Dublin fireman who in the course of his work came across lonely elderly people in need of support. As a result of that, he set up the charity for elderly people, Alone. St Patrick's is 2 buildings in one. It's a place of prayer and it's a museum which is really popular with tourists. So if you go in looking for a peaceful experience, that's hard to find. Despite the fact that the cathedral does its best to be reflective, for example in the North Transept.
Now, the North Transept is an area dedicated to remembering people who have experienced war and strife and difficulty in their lives, and that goes back, some of the oldest flags that are here go back to the Crimean War. But when people interact with the Tree of Remembrance, they leave prayers on leaves that sometimes the Manchester bombings or the incidents in Syria recently, the Florida shootings and so on, there's lots of messages there, contemporary to now, remembering people who are suffering right now in the world.
But it's hard to get away from the fact that the place is full of tourists and there are even tourist shops at the back. However, one of the treats of meeting Kelly was that I got to stay for the evening service after the tourist activity was over. I got to witness the great building turn back into a sacred space once more.